Day 95 of reading through the scriptures. We're going to start in Leviticus chapter 5, and then we're going to have a couple other chapters too in Jeremiah, Psalms, and Acts. And when a being sins in that he has heard the voice of swearing, and is a witness, or has seen or has known, but does not reveal it, he shall bear his crookedness. And when a being touches any unclean matter, or the carcass of an unclean beast, or the carcass of unclean livestock, or the carcass of unclean creeping creatures, and it has been hidden from him, he is unclean and guilty. Or when he touches uncleanness of a man, any of the uncleanness by which he is unclean, and it has been hidden from him, when he shall know it, then he shall be guilty. Or when a being swears, speaking rashly with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatever it is that a man swears rashly with an oath, and it has been hidden from him, when he shall know it, then he shall be guilty of one of these. And it shall be, when he is guilty of one of these, that he shall confess that in which he sinned, and shall bring his guilt offering to Yahweh for his sin which he has sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a female goat, as a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him for his sin. And if he is unable to bring a lamb, then he shall bring to Yahweh, he who has sinned, 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, one for a sin offering, and the other for an ascending offering. And he shall bring them to the priest, who shall bring near that which is in for the sin offering first, and nib off its head from its neck, but not sever it. And he shall sprinkle some of the blood of the sin offering on the side of the slaughter place, and the rest of the blood shall be drained out at the base of the slaughter place. It is a sin offering. And he shall prepare the second as an ascending offering according to the right ruling, and the priest shall make atonement for him for his sin which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he is unable to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, then he who sinned shall bring for his offering 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a sin offering. He puts no oil on it, nor does he put any frankincense on it, for it is a sin offering. And he shall bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his hand filled with it, and as a remembrance portion, and burn it on the slaughter place according to the offerings made by fire to Yahweh. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him and for his sin and that he has sinned in any of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and shall be the priest like a grain offering. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, when a being commits a trespass and has sinned by mistake against the set-apart matters of Yahweh, then he shall bring to Yahweh as his guilt offering a ram, a perfect one, from the flock, with your valuation shekels of silver, according to the shekel of the set-apart place, as a guilt offering. And he shall make good for the sin that he has done against that which is set apart, and shall add 1/5 to it and give it to the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And when any being sins and has done what is not to be done against any of these commands of Yahweh, though he knew it not, yet he shall be guilty and shall bear his crookedness. Then he shall bring to the priest a ram, a perfect one from the flock, in your valuation as a guilt offering. And the priest shall make atonement for his mistake he committed unintentionally, though he did not know it, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a guilt offering. He was truly guilty before Yahweh. Okay, now we're going to go to Jeremiah. And what are we doing in Jeremiah? Okay, I think we're on 27, 28. And it came to be in that year, at the beginning of... I'm not sure. Okay, we're on 29. It's supposed to be an odd number. Jeremiah is going to be an odd number on an odd day. Anyway, Jeremiah 29. And these are the words of the letter which Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem to the rest of the elders of the exile, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had exiled from Jerusalem to Babel, after Jeconiah the sovereign, and the sovereigness mother, and the eunuchs, and the heads of Yehuda and Jerusalem, and the craftsmen and the smiths had gone into exile from Jerusalem. By the hand of Elisha, son of Shaphan, and Gemariah, the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, sovereign of Yehuda sent to Babel, to Nebuchadnezzar, the sovereign of Babel, saying, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, Elohim of Israel, to all the exiles whom I exiled from Jerusalem to Babel. Build houses and dwell in them, plant gardens and eat their fruit. Take wives and bring forth sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons and give your daughters to husbands, and let them bear sons and daughters, and be increased there and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city where I have exiled you, and pray to Yahweh for it, for in its peace you have peace. For thus said Yahweh of hosts, Elohim of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners who are in your midst deceive you, neither listen to the dreams which you are dreaming, for they are prophesying falsely to you in my name. I have not sent them, declares Yahweh. For thus said Yahweh, when 70 years are completed at Babel, I shall visit you and establish my good word toward you to bring you back to this place. For I know the plans I am planning for you, declares Yahweh, plans of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and an expectancy. Then you shall call on me and shall come and pray to me, and I shall listen to you. And you shall seek me and shall find me when you search for me with all your heart. And I shall be found by you, declares Yahweh, and I shall turn back your captivity, and shall gather you from all the nations, and from all the places where I have driven you, declares Yahweh. And I shall bring you back to the place from which I have exiled you. Because you have said, Yahweh has raised up prophets for us in Babel. Thus said Yahweh concerning the sovereign who sits on the throne of David, concerning all of the people who dwell in the city, and concerning your brothers who have not gone out with you into exile. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, see, I am sending on them the sword, the scarcity of food, and the pestilence, and I shall make them like spoiled figs, so spoiled as to be uneatable. And I shall pursue them with the sword, with scarcity of food, and with pestilence. And I shall make them a horror among all the reigns of the earth, to be a curse, and an astonishment, and a hissing, and a reproach among all the nations where I have driven them. For they do not heed my words, declares Yahweh, which I sent to them by my servant the prophets, rising up early and sending them, yet you did not listen, declares Yahweh. You therefore hear the word of Yahweh, all you exiles whom I have sent from Jerusalem to Babel. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, concerning Achab, son of Koliah, and Zedekiah, son of Maaseiah, who are prophesying falsely to you in my name. See, I am giving them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, and he shall strike them before your eyes. And because of them, all the exiles of Yehuda who are in Babel shall use a curse, saying, Yahweh make you like Zedekiah and Achab, whom the sovereign of Babel roasted in the fire. Because they have done wickedness in Israel, and committed adultery with their neighbors' wives, and have spoken a word in my name falsely, which I have not commanded them. And I am he who knows, and a witness, declares Yahweh. And speak to Shemaiah, the Nehelamite, saying, Thus speaks Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, saying, Because you have sent letters in your name to all the people who are at Jerusalem, to Zephaniah, sovereign of Maaseiah the priest, and to all the priests, saying, Yahweh has made you a priest instead of Jehoiada the priest, so that there are overseers in the house of Yahweh over everyone who is mad and makes himself a prophet, that you should put him in the stocks and in the iron collar. So why have you not reproved Jeremiah of Anathoth, who makes himself a prophet to you? For he has sent to us in Babel, saying, This captivity is long, build houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat their fruit. And Zephaniah the priest read this letter in the hearing of Jeremiah the prophet. Then the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, Send to all those in exile, saying, Thus said Yahweh concerning Shemaiah the Nehelamite, because Shemaiah has prophesied to you, and I have not sent him, and he has made you to trust on falsehood. Therefore, thus said Yahweh, See, I am bringing punishment upon Shemaiah the Nehelamite and his seed. He shall have no one to dwell among this people, nor is he to see the good that I am about to do for my people, declares Yahweh, because he has spoken apostasy against Yahweh. Psalm 95. Come, let us sing to Yahweh. Let us raise a shout to the rock of our deliverance. Let us come before his face with thanksgiving. Let us raise a shout to him in song. For Yahweh is a great El and a great sovereign above all mighty ones. In whose hand are the depths of the earth, the mountain peaks are his also. His is the sea, for he hath made it, and his hands form the dry land. Come, let us bow down and bend low, let us kneel before Yahweh our Maker, for he is our Elohim, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Today, if you would hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in Meribah, and as the day of Massah in the wilderness, when your fathers tried me, have proved me, though they saw my work. For 40 years I was grieved with that generation, and said, they are a people who go astray in their hearts, and they do not know my ways. As I swore in my wrath, if they enter into my rest. Alright, Acts chapter 6. And in those days, when the taught ones were increasing, there arose a grumbling against the Hebrews by the Hellenists, because their widows were overlooked in the daily serving. So the 12 summoned the group of the taught ones and said, it is not pleasing for us to leave the word of Elohim and serve tables. Therefore, brothers, seek out from among you 7 men who are known to be filled with the set-apart spirit and wisdom, whom we shall appoint for this duty. But we should give ourselves continually to prayer and to serving the word. And the word pleased the entire group, and they chose Stephanos, a man filled with belief and the set-apart spirit, and Philip and Prochorus, and Nicanor, and Timon, and Parmenas, and Nicolaus, a convert from Antioch, whom they set before the emissaries. And when they had prayed, they laid hands on them. And the word of Elohim spread, and the number of the taught ones increased greatly in Jerusalem, and a great many of the priests were obedient to the belief. And Stephanos, filled with belief and power, did great wonders and signs among the people. But some of those of the so-called congregation of the freedmen, Syrians, Alexandrians, and those from Cilicia and Asia, rose up, disputing with Stephanos. But they were unable to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spoke. Then they instigated men to say, we have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moshe and Elohim. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes, so that they came upon him, seized him, and brought him to the council. And they set up false witnesses who said, this man does not cease to speak blasphemous words against the set-apart place and the Torah. For we have heard him saying that this Yeshua of Nazareth shall overthrow this place and change the institutes which Moshe delivered unto us. And all who sat in the council, looking steadily at him, saw his face was like the face of a heavenly messenger. Well, we know this is a great passage tomorrow, chapter 7 of Acts, so I hope you're here for it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.